Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up on a jam-packed show today, the decision from the licensing committee. Who's in and who's out as far as jockeys are concerned for next season. And as we get towards the business ends of this campaign, we've got a special on Zac versus Joe. Zac comes into Sunday's programme, 120 winners, with Joe on 123, and he hasn't ridden a winner for the last two meetings either. A very warm welcome to Hong Kong Direct. I'm Andrew Jeune, and joined, very pleased to say, by a man for all seasons as well, in Graham Cunningham. And Graham, not just jockey's title heating up, but the trainer's title as well. Absolutely. Who would have thought a few weeks ago, Andrew, that the trainer's title could get even closer than the race for the Jockeys Championship? But we have two crowns waiting to be won. And at the moment, Joe has just lost a bit of momentum. He needs a big Sunday at Chartin. He does indeed. Francis Loy isn't giving up the battle. All the talk seems to be around Ricky Yu and Tony Cruz and even John Moore in his final season. But Francis Loy chipping in with a winner again midweek? Absolutely. And they've all got a few smart, progressive horses still to run. They need to make the most of every opportunity now. We've got 11 race meetings left, just over 100 races, give or take. So every winner at this stage is very, very valuable. All right, we'll look a little bit later on at the feature race on Sunday's programme as well. We're going to start off, though, with those decisions from the licensing committee as far as it's concerned for next season. And Antoine Hamlin, who's made such a good impression since he arrived just a month or so ago, he gets a full season next year. Neil Callan, Blake Jeune and Wagner Borges, who certainly, they've all had a bit of a run on late. They're licensed through till February. And Ben So, we'll come back to Ben in a second, has not applied for his licence to be renewed. Of course, all the big names will still be there again, Graham. But I suppose the place to start is with Antoine Hamlin, who's hasn't actually ridden a winner for the last, I think, 2-3 meetings now, which is a rarity for him since he arrived. Yeah, talk about how a sportsman's life can change in 2, certainly 3 months. 3 months ago, Antoine Hamlin was sitting at home in France thinking when his next ride would be, racing about to go into lockdown. Now he has a full-time, full-season contract in Hong Kong, 13 winners on the board, made a great impression, riding for all sorts of different trainers. So his career is firmly on an upward curve, and he looks so far as if he's got a very bright future here. And as far as the other jockeys are concerned, Neil, Blake and Wagner, he had a good night at Happy Valley himself on Wednesday night too. Yeah, Wagner Borges had a double for John Moore, and that's significant for Wagner because he's got a lot of support for John. He needs to stretch out those contacts for next season when John Moore's not here. Really pleased to see Blake Jeune given another go around. He's had a bizarre first season in Hong Kong. I think it's, how many winners? 11 winners in 41 seconds. People will read data differently. People will sometimes label a jockey as unlucky. If you read those stats and think that Blake Jeune hasn't been riding pretty well, to get 41 seconds from the cattle he's been going around on, you read the form book differently than me. He could ride exactly the same next year and easily get 30-odd winners. I hope he does. I hope he really progresses. He's got the goods. As regards Neil Callan, more on him in a minute, but he is a proven survivor in the Hong Kong jungle. He's in great form at the moment and slightly under the radar at Happy Valley, Chartin all-weather late last month. He passed 250 winners in Hong Kong. He certainly did. Yeah, we can't move on without just a quick mention of Ben So as well. Graham, such a big night for him on Wednesday night, Happy Valley, with a double at what's like 15,000 to 1. Yeah, he used one word to describe it: unbelievable. A lot of punters were saying the same thing, 50-something to 1. And the other horse, Top Military, the longest price winner, I think, at Happy Valley in more than a century. That's the sort of shock that was. So well done to Ben. He is a very interesting character, and he's laying foundations for a new career. He'll be a work rider next season. Eventually, he hopes to be an assistant trainer. Eventually, he hopes to be a trainer in Hong Kong. It's a long-term plan, so long-term that he thinks it might take 15 years to become a trainer. But he's got a plan, and a plan is where the place to start. I think it's David Hayes he'll be working for next season as well, as you say, as a track work rider. That is the first point for him. Let's go back to Neil Callan then. Neil, with a licence through to February next year, was kind enough to put this video message together for us. His reaction to the decision.
Yes, good to hear. Got a licence for next season. You know, everybody knows how tough it is in Hong Kong. It's a very tough, competitive environment for jockeys. But I'm definitely not one for giving up too easily, and hopefully I can go to next season and carry on back up the table where I believe I should be. Yeah, Hong Kong's been amazing. You know, I've been here almost 7 seasons now, coming up 7 seasons, and I felt like I've achieved quite a lot. Ridden some really nice top horses and won some top races, and most importantly for me, I think though I was able to, you know, spend so much time with my family. I'm able to see my kids grow up around me and spend so much time with them, which is very important to me. And obviously for the future. I want to get back up the table where I think I should be, and obviously I want to ride some more Group 1 horses, and they're hard to come by, but that's my goal, is to keep pushing, keep fighting and keep winning.
That's what he's good at as well, fighting, pushing, winning, but he does need the good horses as well. That certainly helps, Graham, too.
Absolutely. I think the last week or so has shown that Hong Kong isn't just a 2-jockey town. Zac and Joe have been struggling a little the last couple of meetings. Neil has the knowledge, he has the contacts, and also, if you look at the middle order of the Hong Kong jockeys table now, no Van Niekerk, no Sana, no Rispoli, no De Meyer. There are opportunities for those guys in the middle ranking, and Neil Callan will realise that. As I said, just over 250 winners in Hong Kong. I think it's over $350 million of prize money. Yes, he does want to spend more time with his family, but he wants plenty more winners before he leaves Hong Kong.
He certainly does. Speaking of opportunities as well, it's obviously difficult at the moment with the global situation, but do you think there's an opportunity, because we start next season with 19 jockeys, an opportunity for other jockeys to join us towards the end of the year? Yeah,
people will look at today's announcement from the licensing committee and say, meet the new jocks, same as the old jocks. But that's only for the moment, because at the moment it's a very challenging situation for people to get into and out of Hong Kong, quarantine, etc. But that will change eventually. Hong Kong are always looking for high-quality jockeys with the right profile. And cast your mind, say, to Europe, for example, to Ireland and the UK in particular. People will have good seasons there, but they'll have good seasons for considerably reduced prize money. And by the time we get to September or October, some jockeys will look at the bank account and think, well, I had a good year. That wasn't quite what I was expecting. I think there will be jockeys on the market for short, medium-term contracts in the winter. Bedell, people like De Souza already have a head start, but we could see 1 or 2 more interesting names on the roster by September, October, thereabouts.
Of course, we do have a very interesting name joining the trainers roster in the one shape of David Hayes, and I'm sure plenty of jockeys will be interested in building a quick relationship with him, because I'm sure he'll have a strong stable to start with.
Absolutely. It's going to be fascinating to see when we finally see the stable strength of David Hayes. I'm sure it's going to be strong in terms of quantity and quality. We know that he's going to pick up plenty of smart horses from other yards, and the Jockey Club aren't guessing with him, an absolute proven force in Hong Kong. So the story of David Hayes and his jockeys for next season is pretty much close to the top of the news list.
All right, there's still plenty more to come after the break. We're looking ahead to Sunday's Pro. We'll hear from Zac Purton as well on his classic battle with Joe from a couple of seasons ago for the title battle. As we head off to a break, though, your chance in about a week or so to vote for Hong Kong's most popular horse last season. It was Beauty Generation, of course. Zac Purton was his regular pilot. Who will it be this time round? Welcome back to Hong Kong Direct. Graham Cunningham, my special guest, still with me. We'll be looking ahead to Sunday's action very shortly. Before that, though, we'll hear from Zac Purton, of course, engaged in another epic battle with Joe Moreira in this season's title race. He reflects on his classic title clash back in 2017 and 2018, again, of course, with Joe.
Super Chic's charging through at 100 miles an hour. He's after Giant Turtle. They got to Goldfield. Super Chic is running away with it in the end. The Judge Purton riding like a man inspired. Here's another one for him. Montreal powering away from Wei Fung Vinny and Money Boy, and there's 3 for Purton and 2 for Founds. Rise High getting to Dr. Jeff, gets his head in front, Rise High wins it.
I had a really good May. I come back from back-to-back suspensions where I think I went from 1 or 2 winners behind him to 15 winners behind him after I finished those suspensions, as you touched on. And through the month of May, I might have ridden 24 winners or around about that number anyway. So I had a huge month, and that really got me some momentum, got the wheels turning, and it gave me the momentum at the right time to push towards the end of the season.
Experto Crede hit the front from Empire Star. They got to Carefree Prince. Purton again, he'd win on a broomstick at the moment. Sacred Ibis laid up to California Joy, edging clear, going into third play-wise, and then Shamport, but it's 5, it's a handful for Purton.
Super Hoppy, though, is finishing off very strongly, and Super Hoppy goes clear in the latter stages. A 4-timer for Purton.
Zac Purton went clear, and Patch Baby raced away from Raging Blitzkrieg. King Mortar's got his second win, then Jade Theatre, but racing away is Patch Baby. Another one for Purton.
You know, it sits right up there. You know, it was a good fight. It was a tooth and nail fight. It was one where I wasn't expected to win. In a lot of ways, I defied the odds, and I did everything the hard way.
Rise High edging away from Ribbit, Jolly Banner and Dr. Jeff. That will do, Zacky boy. That will do. Rise High wins it from Ribbit.
There was a lot of pressure involved in a championship and a fight for a championship. So to take it to the last day is exciting for everyone, and you know, it would be great if that was to happen again. It'd be good for his fans, my fans, and you know, generally fans worldwide. So let's just hope that the same sort of scenario happens.
Sport, of course, thrives, Graham, on great rivalries, and this is one. Zac Purton and Joe Moreira looks like going down to the wire again. Yeah,
this is a belter, Andrew. And people often ask me, people from abroad, how would these two guys stand up in other countries? There's no question. They would be absolutely elite wherever they plied their trade in the world. And it's a different scenario. That was a really good little montage of how that title duel developed 2 years ago. And Zac came from way back. This is a different setup now. We only have 11 meetings left, round about 100 races, just more than that perhaps. Everyone's valuable. And I think what we saw from that montage is not really the odd singles or doubles here. It's getting the days with the 4s and the 5-timers that set you on your way. So Joe needs to kick on now. He can't afford a suspension. Same applies to Zac. He needs to maximise every opportunity. But look out for the day when one of them or both of them hit 4 or 5. They're the days that will make the difference here.
The fascinating thing as well is there's such different riders for mine as well. Joe's magic moniker suits him perfectly, because I sometimes find myself sitting there and going, how's he done that? I just don't understand it. And Zac rides with military-like precision.
Absolutely. Clinical is always the word that comes to mind when I think of Zac Purton. He knows exactly what he's doing, not just in this race, but for the day, next week and beyond. And that means he's not going to give this away. There's absolutely no chance. Joe has to go and really, really grab it from him with that Brazilian brilliance. So it's a fantastic race. Neither can afford a suspension. They'll have lots and lots of opportunities, and they just need to seize them at the right moment. Someone's going to go 3, 4, 5, and that will set the race alight again. We've seen too many fluctuations already to be confident, but I think everyone would be thrilled to see it go down to the last week.
Can't forget about the jockeys behind them either. Karis Teeton's having his best season, Vincent Ho's having his best season, and Chad Schofield's having his best season as well. But how do they, it's easier said than done, make inroads into the top 2? And the chasing pack, how do they make inroads into the rest of them? Yeah.
First by getting better. There's no doubt that the top 2 are there for a reason at the moment. But the likes of Vincent Ho, Karis Teeton, Chad Schofield, they're all young enough to get better. Teeton's ridiculous. He keeps taking every opportunity that comes his way. He had a double at Happy Valley this week. It was the 8th consecutive fixture where he scored at least one winner. Married life clearly suits him very well indeed. It was also his birthday at Happy Valley on Wednesday. And if you look at the data, the market probably underappreciates how good he is. If you back Joe and Zac to level stakes, you're going to lose plenty of money over time. Not so Teeton. Despite being the 3rd best jockey in Hong Kong at the moment, he's still in slight profit to a level stakes strategy, and that speaks well for him. He's a very high quality jockey nowadays. Vincent passed last season's personal best with his double. Chad Schofield's on a roll after a big Sunday. So no, it's not about a big two. It's far more than a two-jockey town. Those 3, 4 and 5 seeds are still young enough and hungry enough to improve plenty.
Great stuff. We'll follow the end of the season with great interest, and next season as well. We need to look forward, though, to Sunday, though, with our feature race. Actually, the final race on the programme, actual fact. Race number 10 at Chartin, a Class 2 of the 1,400 metres. Perfect match. He'll throw the speed in off the inside gate. Glorious Spectrum hasn't won yet, but he's been 4 times he's been runner-up, only beaten a millimetre last time out. Mongolian King comes off the all-weather. More Than Lucky down in class. Zac Purton jumps on board for the first time. We got High Rev, could do anything under Ben So. Transcendent. He's probably a little bit disappointing since his first up win. Beauty Rush got speed from barrier 13, and Dan Control, he was a super return. He's got the wide gate behind Banda Brothers last time out, and Prince of Frog, who debuted behind Shining Ace at Happy Valley, up in trip, and a switch of track for him. Glorious Spectrum, probably, Graham, the obvious place to start, and a lot of people thought he'd won last time out, but he didn't.
Yeah, pretty good horse in Italy, pretty good horse here, but he's just not had the rub of the green. 4 seconds, neck, half a length, head, and an agonising nose last time. Add up all those winning distances, it comes to 1/5 of a second. So he's been unlucky. He's ready to win. He's bound to go well, but the market will reflect that. And I'm interested in 2 jockey bookings. After a long while, Zac for the first time on More Than Lucky. He's a dangerously well-handicapped horse. I think Zac will get a very good tune out of him. And John Moreira is on board Dan Control for the first time. He was drawn high last time, went 4th behind Glorious Spectrum and Band of Brothers. Problem is, he's even wider this time in 14.
He certainly is. We might come back to More Than Lucky in a second, but let's stick with Glorious Spectrum for the moment or so and hear from his jockey, Antoine Hamelin.
Antoine, Glorious Spectrum, last time out, did you think you'd won?
Yeah, I'm second 2 times with him. I'm very happy to ride him again, and probably he ran really good. I hope this day. Normally he have a first chance for the first place.
You've gone close with him a couple of times. As a horse, what's he like to ride?
He need a little bit clearer race and cover a classic race for him. We have draw 7. We are in the middle. He's okay. I'm a little bit good feeling for this day. Hopefully a winner.
He looks like a horse with a good turn of foot. Does he give you a nice feel?
Yes, exactly. I think I don't have the plan for the moment, but probably midfield, cover a nice race. If the pace is normal, probably he can finish very fast, yeah.
There's Antoine then on Glorious Spectrum. He's drawn barrier 7 this time round. Surely he's going to be popular. More Than Lucky, let's just revisit him for a second. Graham, you mentioned Zac jumping on board. Not disgraced last time out behind Buddies. Looked a strong race. He led there. I'm not sure he'll lead this time, though.
No, I think he'll get a lead. I think he'll be handy, and I think he'll get a very smooth run. Purton is a key booking for him, and he's just come down to a rating now, high 80s, which suggests that he ought to be very competitive. A couple of other significant jockey bookings on the apprentice front. We have Jerry Chow for the first time on Uncle Steve, who comes back in trip for Douglas White. I think he's a slightly tricky ride. And also Alfred Chan for the first time on Beauty Rush, who was also in that Band of Brothers Glorious Spectrum race last time. And he didn't get complete running room at an important point. So those apprentice claims on Beauty Rush and aboard Uncle Steve could be interesting. Beauty Rush, I think, is the type of horse who should go well at a price.
On the Beauty Rush form, in actual fact, Mongolian King, who comes off an all-weather campaign, a successful one as well, but he's a winner on the turf as well. And he's got Karis Teeton in the saddle. He
is a smart horse, strong finishing horse. My slight worry for him is that just his handicap mark. I think he needs a really good gallop to bring out his best. He's been running pretty well on the dirt recently. He probably has to be even better than that to win this race on Sunday, because it's a pretty hot handicap.
Any other horses you want to mention there? High Rev's a bit of a favourite of mine. I said before, with Ben So in the saddle, anything could happen, but he has struggled in this class in the past. Yeah,
and he may well need a slightly longer trip. The other one I would mention is Starshine, and I've been to the well several times this season without drawing on Starshine, but he has been running very well. He's another horse who can get back, needs a really good gallop, but he's consistent. He'll be in the mix again, but I think the 2 key horses, for obvious reasons, Glorious Spectrum, and for another obvious reason, the rating and Zac Purton, More Than Lucky.
So if you had to single one of those two out, which way would you jump?
Well, I'm guessing that Glorious Spectrum will be a strong favourite, and I think he deserves to be, but I'll go each way with More Than Lucky. He caught my eye last time. He may well have just gone for home slightly earlier than ideal. That won't be an issue with Zac Purton on board. Take my chances, number 5, More Than Lucky, in the lucky last.
Yeah, I think it's probably between those two, but as you're right, I think probably Antoine Hamlin and Glorious Spectrum will be favourites. You pay your money, you take your chance with him. As far as looking forward is concerned, Sunday at Chartin, that's the feature race, the Class 2, back at Happy Valley then on Wednesday night, then a return to Chartin mid-June. And that will lead us into, Graham, Royal Ascot week as well. So it's not just about Hong Kong racing. We've got the World Pool to look forward to towards the middle end of June.
It's an incredibly extravagant programme for June. 2,000 guineas Newmarket Saturday, Almond Eye and company on deck, and the Isuda Kinen from Tokyo on Sunday. 5 days from Royal Ascot. A very unusual programme of international racing because we've had a big hole in the European season, but it's great to see it back, and the stars are on show this weekend, certainly with Pinatubo and Almond Eye.
Looking forward to that, looking forward to the weekend. Thanks as always, Graham. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks, mate.
All right, that's the show. Thanks for watching. We're going to leave you this week on the Zac Purton, Jeune theme with Zac's first Hong Kong Cup win. That was back in 2017 on Time Warp, part of that championship winning season as well. So enjoy this, and we'll see you again on Sunday. We'll bring all the action from Hong Kong direct to you.
Two back, Garlingary's had a lovely run. Likewise, Deauville the rail. Then a length to Robin of Navan as they quicken up down the side. Werther's punching through nearer the inside. 6 off the lead. War Decree, Stefanos. Poet's Word, third last from Secret Weapon. And Blonde Me has it all to do. 600 metres out in the cup. And Time Warp's been left alone. Smart Layer within a half now. Neo-Realism awaits the run. Garlingary goes, as does Robin of Navan. Werther gets to the outside. Time Warp. Purton asks him for something now. He sprints sharply. Neo-Realism going into second. Werther a wider out. Then Robin of Navan and Smart Layer from the back, Stefanos. But Time Warp kept ticking. Too clear from Werther. Then Neo-Realism. Time Warp fuller running in the cup. Werther won't get him. And Time Warp, what a brilliant front running exhibition, wins the cup from Werther and Neo-Realism.